Tour junkies.
What's going on, golf addicts? Welcome to the Sony 2025 betting preview. A little bit of DFS. Our boy Matt Every, PGA Tour winner, is going to be joining us as he does every single week here in just a few minutes to break down the golf course, break down some of the favorite bets he has. We're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to talk a little DFS at the end, some college football, NFL playoff parlays. I'm going to talk a little TGL. That starts on Tuesday night. And then as we do at the top of every year, we're going to do our New Year's resolutions. That's always fun. We'll get into that. Pat, good to have you. We've got producer Tony back with us. We didn't have producer Tony last week. Producer Tony, say hello, back with us for this season. Hey, Tony. Hey.
What's up, fellas?
Look at us, the hoodie gang here. The hoodie.
Yeah.
We're so good.
Gang. I got my new Mount Zion hat. Or Zion. I keep saying Mount Zion from the Bible, but Zion National Park.
Okay.
Oh, you're looking sharp. You're looking sharp, Tony. Glad to have you back. I miss you. I miss you on screen with us.
I miss seeing your face, Pat.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. Just remember, Pat doesn't know how to send your money every month, Tony. So.
Oh. All right. Here, let me remove Pat from the screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Good to have Tony with us, as he will be every week here. He's always adds a lot to the show. Excited to have him on for another year. You know, I want to talk a little Sentry, Pat. 35 under. Mr. Hideki Hamasayama wins the Sentry over Colin Morikawa. Comes oh so close, but can't quite get to 35 under on the softened Kapalua course. What'd you think of it, bud? You know, we did. You liked Hideki. You brought him up, and we had a little conversation about. I think I even said, you know, when you think about it, Sungjae, who everybody was hammering at 18-1, who still had a great tournament, right? Sungjae was 18-1. So was Hideki. And you brought him up, and I said, you know, come to think of it, if you had to pick one, Sungjae hadn't won in 3 years. Like, why wouldn't you pick Hideki in the win equity that he brings? And sure enough, he let his balls drag all over Kapalua on Sunday.
I mean, I think, to be honest, that this counts as a TJ victory for the first part of the year. I mean, I think it should. Now, look, I'll be the first to admit I may have checked out a little bit last week. I checked out. You know? And like, I didn't put out a betting card. I checked out. As soon as the recording was done, I was out.
No betting card, no pontificate, no Discord.
Nothing. Just had my out of office on all week. And but it was good. I was happy to do it. But I think we both get joint credit for this victory. I feel like we should get it, and we should start off our year up.
Look at us. We're up. We're up units.
We're up units.
It's like you get a 9-1 and I get a 9-1. We take Hideki. It's a menage a trois. You, me, Hideki.
We split it in two, and we're off to a good start this year. So look, 35 under is ridiculous. I thought the quote from Morikawa was pretty funny. I mean, when he said
he made a point to work in the F-bomb.
Yeah, he worked in the F-bomb and just was like, that's effing low. And it is. I mean, it's nuts. And the course is set up to go low, and they had good weather, and that's what's going to happen. But Hideki is Hideki's so interesting. Like, you never know when he's going to get an injury or when he's going to shoot 35 under. Yeah, you just don't know. But when you get a little value on him, like we had last week, and I thought we did, I think you gotta take advantage of it. And so I was happy to see that.
He's won some big time events, man. He's a stud. Obviously, we had some other wins for the week. We had you had Morikawa top 10 at even money. He was one of your top 10 locks.
Yeah,
my bomb. I got made fun of for this. My bomb, Johnny Vegas, 7-1, top 10. Johnny V coming out hot. The older, seasoned. What is he? Venezuelan? He can still move it, man. He freaking moves it, and he hits his long irons well. And a softened Kapalua was just what he needed. He did quite well. That was a nice one. And then I gave out a play exclusively on SoBet. Our friends at Bet the Number have that new matchup tool that's really sporty, and I pounced on Sungjae over Ludwig and Hovland, I think, in a tournament matchup. He just barely squeaked by. But I mean, he won by 4 shots, but Ludwig was up there and made a run. We got that one at plus 185. So there were some good things that happened last week. Not all good, but it's golf. It's what happens. It's a good start to the year. And we hit Hideki. We're both agreeing. We're all in agreement. We hit Hideki.
Yeah.
So that's good. Shout out to our friends at SoBet, by the way. Absolutely. Yeah, profitable week 1 in golf on SoBet. That's a good thing. Exclusive bets by us dropped on SoBet every week for golf, but also the go-to spot for any form of sports betting, whether it's NFL, college football, playoffs. You got basketball going on, Major League Baseball. If it's a sport that you can bet on, people on SoBet, professionals, really good handicappers are giving you insights, giving you bets, unit allocations, transparency with their bets, win, lose, or draw every single day on SoBet. It's a great platform, tremendous app for your mobile phone, legal everywhere. So if you're betting in any capacity or playing DFS or props or whatever, you can benefit from the SoBet app. It's right there in the App Store, whatever device you're using. And you can click the link in the description of the show or the YouTube channel and easily get you a little dollar for the first month over there at SoBet with the code TJ. Make sure when you get in there, you follow us and you set up some notifications. So every time we drop a new bet, you can be notified. Great people over there at SoBet. 3rd year supporting the Tour Junkies podcast. We appreciate them a ton. Any other Sentry thoughts, Pat? Before we move on? We turn the page quickly here at Tour Junkies headquarters.
I'll just say this. You know how I said I checked out for the week?
Yeah, you just checked out again while I was talking?
No, I didn't. I was listening, but I only watched a little bit of golf. And I got to say, I saw more whales than I did golf. I'm just being honest. I saw a lot of whales. I saw 5 of them at one time, and Rolfing was talking about them, and he was talking about trade winds and other things, and that I saw more of that than I did golf. Now, I'm not blaming the Golf Channel or anything because it may have been just a 10-minute window that I was watching golf, but I did get to see some beautiful whales. Beautiful whales.
I missed the whales, and I watched a good bit of it on Sunday. Maybe I just checked out. Our next guest comes on every single week. We're getting familiar with him. Everybody's getting to know him. Everybody last week in the comments was like, God, his hair, his teeth. Oh, his skin. Oh, how is there any, women left in Florida after this guy's there and all this stuff? We're getting all these comments and podcast reviews and stuff. I got people emailing me. My mom sent me a text. She's like, who was that dude that was on the show? Not Pat, but the other guy. And it's just all kind of stuff going on with that. But we're going to keep having him on despite all that. But I don't see, I was looking every week we're going to do, I'm going to try to remember to do this. Producer Tony, help me remember to do this. I want to try to flash back to our 10th year. Remember this, you guys are going to hear this all year. This is our 10th year doing this, and it might be our last. So you just never know. So this is our 10th year doing this. So I want to flash back to year 1. And I was looking at 2016 Sony Open. Pat, do you remember who won the 2016 Sony Open? I'll give you a hint. It was not our guest coming up.
Fabian Gomez.
Fabian Gomez, man.
Yeah,
and let me tell you,
I do remember that. I will never forget that.
Let me tell the people. This goes down in Tour Junkies lore because we were this little baby show just starting out, just baby show. And I mean, we're still wet. We still got the stuff on us, right? We're still leaking fluids and crap from just new to the podcast game. And DB, myself, I'm going to pat myself on the back here. I hit Fabian Gomez at like 150-1 to win that tournament. And that was the birth of like DB's big balls. But that was the birth of me. That was the first time I felt it in my plums for the first time, like what it feels like to hit an absolute nuclear missile bomb that nobody saw coming. And ever since I've been addicted to it. And did it lose me a bunch of units in 2024? Yes, it did. But am I still addicted to it? Yes, I am. I love the feeling. I love hitting the bomb, hitting the long shot. We called him Selena's daddy back in the day. I think Selena Gomez was a hot item at the time. So we rode Fabian to the finish line at the 2016 Sony Open. And I was checking the leader. I was like, hey, our boy Matt Every was in the field for the Sentry the week before because we checked that last week, remember?
Yeah.
But then I scrolled. I'm like, I'm not seeing him. So I was like, well, hopefully he didn't miss the cut. I don't see him missing the cut. And then I remembered, what did Matt say about the Sony last week? You remember what he said?
I forgot what he said.
He said it's too
other than just like Detroit
on the water. Detroit on the water. That's what he said. He's like, it's 2 different tournaments. The one in Maui is like it's super nice. You're in the wrist, and then the other one's Detroit on the water. So let's get him in here. Let's figure out what happened, Matt. Like what were we doing 2016 week?
I was. You guys can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, cool. I was way too harsh on Detroit on the water. That might have been a little too much. The golf course is awesome. 2016, I had some stuff going on. I couldn't play that week, but it's, to be honest, Waialae is probably one of my favorite tracks on the tour, and I think a lot of players would agree with that. The city is the Waikiki in itself. It can be, it could be a little hairy, but The golf course it's pure, man.
You did you know Fabian at all? What's up with Fabian? Were you boys?
Yeah, I love Fabian. Absolute stud. Bermuda grass specialist. You know, he went down in Panama on the whatever the tour, if it was Nationwide or Corn Ferry. Went down there, I think, a couple of times. That's some ratty Bermuda. Not super surprising, honestly. You saying you got him at 100-1. That seems pretty steep for a guy like him on a track like Waialae.
Yeah, that was
nice hit,
best,
though.
man.
Nice hit.
You never forget your first. You know what I mean?
Hey, T's and P's for the Georgia Bulldogs too, guys. It's a tough way for it to end.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt. We were there. You were not. But it was brutal. It was brutal.
You know, it's kind of nice watching that, to be honest.
Really?
We don't need to
was.
hear that. We
Why,
don't.
why would you not be cheering?
Yeah,
Notre Dame, man. Why would you not be cheering for the SEC? Over Notre
Okay,
Dame?
you're right.
Like
Honestly,
non-conference, we get in here every year because we're Notre Dame. Why would
No,
you
I
not?
hear
be
ya.
I feel like though that
couple things, Pat, real quick. I thought you guys were fairly pedestrian all year. I mean, even when you played us, I think we might have won that game if Waialae stays in. And then I wanted to ask you this the last podcast. Did you not get the vibe when Carson Beck went out that the whole team liked the backup more than Carson Beck?
100%, they did.
Like
Oh,
it felt, just watching it, it was like, whoa, man, like is there some kind of separation here between, you know, the average Joe on the Bulldog team and the superstar quarterback? It definitely felt like that. I just don't know if it was y'all's strongest team you've had in the last few years.
I'll just say I think I agree. You know, the Cavender twins, they got involved with the dogs and with with the Lambo and everything that Carson Beck had. And I tell you, I think it was a very tough year for Kirby. He even said it in his post game interview. And obviously, we know. I mean, you know, prayers to his family because of his dad and everything, and that came out afterwards. But it seemed like they just hung on and hung on and hung on all year long to even win the SEC was probably pretty impressive that they. But I agree with your assessment. I mean, I think we probably should have lost to Florida if Lagway doesn't go out. A lot of things could have happened, but and I think, I mean, you can't blame the Notre Dame game on our backup quarterback.
No.
Blame it on the damn offensive line.
You played good.
Yeah.
Blame it on all the other stupid
Blame it on
crap.
Parker Jones.
Giving up a kickoff return in 2020, the year of 2025. Who gives up a kickoff return? I just don't understand how that even happens.
That was the slowest kickoff return ever, too, by the way.
He also got touched by one other person other than our kicker. Like, he didn't even get touched. It was terrible. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so obviously we've got the Sony this week. Waialae. A big storyline is going to be the defending champ, Grayson Murray, not being here. We talked a lot about Grayson last year when this whole thing happened, and we were fans of Grayson. We had interacted with Grayson some. Matt, did you have a relationship with Grayson and anything in particular that you'd share about him? Maybe not. I don't know, but we talk about it before we move on.
Yeah. I had a really good relationship with Grayson, probably one of his closer buddies out there. We had the same agent, Kevin Canning. You know, early in Grayson's career, I spent quite a bit of time with him. We stayed in a lot of houses together, played a lot of practice rounds together, ate a lot of meals together. What a talent. I mean, we were just seeing the beginning of it, to be honest. There was countless times I would play practice rounds with him and just be blown away at, like, where are the results? Like, where I don't get it. Like, this is so good. He would drive it like Rory. I mean, just pure, just built. He was one of those guys. He worked out like crazy, especially the back end of his time out there. But he was one of those guys where he didn't really need to work out. Like, he was just naturally, like, if you polled the guys on the PGA Tour, who would you least want to fight out here? Every one of them would say Grayson Murray. I mean, he was just a unit. Obviously fought demons. I had a lot of fun with Grayson, like a lot. It sucks.
Yeah.
The whole thing sucks, but there's a lot of good memories out there for us to relive with him. Obviously, him winning here last year, I'll share with you this. My favorite memory of Grayson playing golf on the PGA Tour is his celebration when he made a hole-in-one on 17 at Honda. It is him. It is just, it's, go watch it if you haven't seen it. It is just pure joy. It's awesome. I think about him all the time. It's going to be a tough week there.
Yeah. I'm sure. I definitely trust the tour to do a really good job with that this week. I bet they handle that really well, both on the broadcast and through social media or whatever they may do. I think they handle it really well, and definitely thoughts and prayers continue to be with Grayson's family and all those people. And, we said it last year, man, like, talk to people, right? Like open up and talk to people and ask, check on people and be a good friend, be a good family member, be a good person to those around you. And because you just never know. And Grayson's a good example of that. And he's definitely missed on tour. And, but I trust the tour's going to do a good job with this week. So, it's impressive that he did, to me and to me and Pat, and looking at the stats the way we do and looking at players and the way that they tend to be built. I would never have guessed Grayson Murray could do what he did on this golf course, because this isn't really a golf course that you typically see, your bomb and gouge type players take advantage of. And I remember, like, he was a super long shot last year. Nobody had him. He obviously goes into a playoff with, I think, Ben On and Keegan, notorious flushers. Neither one of them are short off the tee either. So you had a few maulers up at the top here at the Sony. But other than, aside from that, what are your kind of thoughts on the golf course? You said this is one of your favorite courses, Waialae. Talk to us about that. Give us a little bit of the Matty E insight here.
Yeah, I love it. Look, it's nowhere near the course they played last week. There's zero elevation change here. Packed wall to wall, Bermuda, kind of an old school design, back to front, sloped greens, tiny greens. And it just takes a little bit of wind there for it to, really, really creep into your mind. I mean, there's some sketchy little tee shots out there, skinny fairways. They usually play fairly firm, and there's a ton of dog legs. So, there's I want to say 3 or 4 holes that bend a certain way, and the prevailing winds blow in the opposite. So it's how do you want to play it? Do you lay back and try and play out of the fairway, or we've kind of seen some guys start to press this thing. I mean, you and I were looking at a number earlier. Average amount of drivers hit here was 5.7, but you could go full kamikaze around this place and just hope you run the table. And if you do, you're rewarded. I mean, if you hit the fairway and you have a little flip, 70-yard wedge into some easy Bermuda target's just going to take one hop and stop. You can shoot the grass off this place. We saw, didn't Justin Thomas shoot 59 here?
Yep.
Yeah. It's there. I mean, par 70. It's a lot of fun to play. You can play from the rough. I think guys who are really good at a Bermuda rough this week, judging those lies, you're going to get a ton of them. So I think that could come into hand. And then, guy like Russell Henley that just runs the table on Bermuda grass. How can you not take a peek at him as well? What do we got here?
We're looking here at a tweet from Bet the Number, talking about kind of some of the course insights, talking about the trade wins. You mentioned those wins. It looks like that's what we're going to get all week this week. And kind of similar to what you're saying, if the course is firm, you might see this thing 13 or 15 under. If it's not, it could get up in the low 20s in terms of winning score. Really good iron players. And then they also tweeted some data about the 2024 leaderboard and some of the variance there on the leaderboard between guys who had played the Sentry the week before, guys who had not, guys who had a really good course record here. I think I saw a stat that was like 8 of the last 11 winners of this event played the Sentry, but 3 of the last 3 were the ones that had not. So maybe get your thoughts on a couple things. Playing the Sentry the week before or not, and then course history. This seems to be, Waialae seems to be a course where there's some stickiness to that. If you have kind of figured it out, that's an advantage. So what would you say to like the first timers here?
I think the first timers got a great look here. It doesn't really, I don't think course history is massive. There's every shot. It's so personal because there's wind involved. You're judging a lie. You're kind of playing to your next shot. I've seen, I mean, I was a rookie, came over here and had a ton of success. I think I had the lead after 2 rounds, and I've seen tons of guys come over here and do that. You know, those rookies are hungry. You know, they've been busting their butt all of December, probably playing somewhere in Florida, similar grass to here. As far as like, were you asking about courses, like comparisons, other courses?
Well, yeah, that too, but also like playing the Sentry the week before, whether or not you.
I don't think it's massive. I don't. It's such a different golf course. I mean, the Sentry, you don't have one flat lie. You're super exposed. Here, it's way more parkland. I mean, there's freeway going right down the course. It's very condensed. The driving range is an amazing golf course. Probably one of the worst driving ranges you're going to see all year. It's just. It's not big.
It's the
It's
Detroit
not big.
of driving ranges.
Yeah, it's not very big, and it blows down off the left, and in the grass, it's kind of ratty. So it's not a place where you want to go looking for your golf game.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So Davis Riley, that's why he withdrew.
Oh man, yeah, I'm off that.
Too soon.
My goodness.
Too soon. What did I say?
DB, come on, that's DB. That's just.
After
really
the Georgia thing, I was
yeah, that's true. That's fair.
So correlated courses. You're going to say something about that? Are you a big correlated course guy?
I mean, kind of. Now that I'm getting into this and doing a little digging, I feel like there's something to that. Yeah, I would say for me, just the ones off the top of my head, maybe Memphis, Greensboro. What else?
To be the Detroit on the water or the Memphis on the water?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
What would be worse, to be Detroit on the water or Memphis on the water?
Ooh.
We're really alienating our Detroit fans and our Memphis
fans.
fans.
And that was way
and
too
Memphis
mean.
is a great city. Come on now. Memphis has got some good barbecue, buddy.
Yeah.
There's some bad parts
I like
of town.
Memphis. I like Detroit too. It's fine.
Yeah, okay. I don't think we have a lot of Detroit listeners anyway. I think
Sea Island, could that be a comparable course?
I don't know. You tell me, pro.
I think I named a few. Tampa, Innisbrook. I think that could be one. I don't know. You guys are the pros. Did I hit on any of those?
Well, we're not really correlated course guys.
You're not.
Not really.
So
no.
you asked the question that you really didn't.
Yeah, but there are plenty of people who are. There are plenty of people.
I feel like in this industry that's kind of an angle a lot of guys take, right?
Matt, we like to overthink things. Have you figured this out yet?
Yeah.
We like to overthink all of this stuff.
Hey, what are we gonna do? Yet? What are we gonna do for our bet this year, our contest?
Yeah, we got to figure that out, because see, what happened last week is the YouTube show didn't get put up, and then we didn't have any YouTube comments and no suggestions. So I think we got to let this run one more time and get suggestions. We need to nail it down by next week. So that's a great segue, Matt. If everybody watching on YouTube, which this is getting up on YouTube this week, could hit the like button and comment, what should our season long bet structure be for this year between me and Pat and Tony and Matt? What should that season long structure look like? Last year we did the faded players under 30-1. This year we could do something different. Somebody give us some good suggestions. We'll work on that as a group too. But let's get one more week, see if we can get some good insights into that. Well, before we get into some bets, Matt, you've had a chance to look at the bet the number model today. I know you've been playing around a little bit, poking around with the number. And I already mentioned the new matchup tool helped me nail down a nice little plus 185 tournament 3-ball last week. So if you guys have not already checked out Bet the Number, you need to make sure you do that. The link is in the description. It's a fantastic tool. Lots of new tools have been added for 2025. So if you haven't logged on since the fall, you need to log on now and check out some of the new tools. The matchups tab is up. The props tab is up, helping you attack matchups, props on Underdog or Prize Picks or any of these other platforms. The folks at Bet the Number have put a lot of work into the new system. The model making is different. The filters have changed. It's a lot more user-friendly. Tons of stuff there, tons of great data there, all of it licensed by the PGA Tour. So the data is pure, the data is clean. It comes in live odds from DK Sportsbook being pulled into Bet the Number as well. And of course, you get the public models every week The Bet the Number model and my model is up every single week usually by Monday night or Tuesday at the latest for you to check out and just look at the numbers. If you don't want to do it yourself, you can just check out our model and go from there. So, or you can fade our model completely and be like, these guys are ding dongs. They don't know what they're doing. I'm going to bet the opposite. So, which I will say, there was a couple names at the top of mind today. I was like, yep, I'm not doing that. Not going to click that one. Something's going on. But Matt, when you looked at it, what are your thoughts on some of the key the stats you saw and you're like, oh yeah, I like that one.
Like the guys I liked?
The guys, well, let's get to the guys in a second, but maybe
the stats. Well, I mean, I think iron play is very important here. Smaller greens, at least that's how I remember them. A lot of crosswinds. So you really have to be precise with what kind of shot you're playing. This isn't just step up and hit your Palm Springs 8-iron. There's some golf being played here. I also look at a guy scrambling, a guy who kind of walks off the course and gets everything he got out of his round. Kind of one of those annoying guys to play with, but those guys go a long ways here because you're gonna miss fairways, you're gonna miss greens. Up and downs are doable, but you get some funky lies, and who's getting three or four of those, more of those up and down than the rest of the guys. That's the guy I kind of like this week.
Can you tell me what a Palm Springs 8-iron is?
Yeah, what is that?
Just like there's nothing going on. Like you're hitting in a dome. I mean, that's what it is. It's a full swing 8-iron.
Yeah. Okay. So nothing. You got no wind. You got no elements.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah.
Okay. Pros have those.
Do you ever notice not a lot of guys are made it on the tour from Palm Springs, like from that area?
Because they just can't.
I don't know if there's a lot of like substance to your game growing up with that. It's like growing up hitting Pro Vs when you're like, my boy has no chance. I mean, he's been hitting Pro Vs for 3 years on the range. He's 12 years old. Where's the grind going to come from?
See, so basically what you're saying is, and this feels really good right now, Matt. What you're saying is that my game would translate more, like my mentality and the way I grew up playing the game would translate more than DB's game. If I had that kind of talent, because I can scramble.
No. He's saying the opposite. You grew up hitting Pro Vs at Augusta Country.
No, I didn't. I grew up grinding on the driving range next to Charles Howell III, trying to figure out what to do.
And where is Charles Howell? Where are you?
I'm not saying, I'm just making a parallel between the way I play the game versus the way you play the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's chasing speed on tour right now, Pat. I have the speed out of the me and you.
You do have the speed.
Okay, let's get to let's get to some guys you like then, Matt, because
let's do it.
There's a lot of names here. We got a first full field event of 2025. Give us a few of your favorite outrights and a couple top 20s. You did drop some bets. You hit a couple bets last week in the Discord as well. Thanks for that. You did a great job, Matt. Listen,
a couple.
Nobody knows how tough it is to get a PGA Tour, former PGA Tour, pro, and a two-time PGA Tour winner to use technology the way that we pushed Matt.
You guys have killed it with me.
We pushed him to the absolute limit last week.
Yeah.
And he did it. He logged on to Discord. He's got his own channel. You guys can subscribe to the channel in the Discord if you haven't already. Matt will drop some bets, but give us a little early teaser.
Okay, so
a little side boob, just a little side boob of your bets this week.
How good is the side boob?
You like side boob or bottom boob better?
Oh, side.
Side.
God, but you know what? I mean,
side.
You don't get a bottom very often. You get more sides than you do bottom.
All right, let's get to the golf. So, before I even looked at the model this week, I had one guy in mind, and that was Daniel Berger. I played maybe a couple of weeks ago with him down in Jupiter, and we play. When I was playing, I would play a lot of practice rounds with Daniel as well, and I'm a big fan of just like who he is as a person. He kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's very raw. He is one of those guys I described that kind of walks off the course with, man, I don't know if I could have got one more out of that. And he has that in him. He's got a ton of dog in him. How many wins does Berger got? 4? Does that sound right?
At least 4, and he's won a
Yeah,
couple
and he's
places
had a
twice,
couple
right?
robbed from him. Like Spieth made that bunker shot on him at Hartford.
Yeah.
He's a really, really good player, and he's got some form. Listen, I suck now, but he, without any hesitation, gave me 3 aside to Cuesta Country Club and mopped me up. So he is in really good form, and 60-1. I'm gonna be looking at him for sure.
Old DB straight vibing. God bless America. Listen to him. Were you hitting some? Does he hit a real nice Jupiter Lynx 8-iron? What's the Jupiter?
I don't know. I don't know what that is. There's a few different versions of that Jupe Life down there.
Okay. All right. Well, who else you got? I like the better call 60-1. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. My next guy also 60-1. Got the hot start last week. New dad and a hell of an iron player, Mr. Tom Hoagie. I really like this place for Tom. When I say hell of an iron player, I mean like Chad Campbell stuff. Yeah. He's got every shot.
Chad Campbell reference? You're gonna You're just
what?
I'm just gonna take my drawers clean off. You're taking me right back to 2016.
Yeah.
We've had some
Shout out Chad
Campbell talk.
I like Tom here. Putter's getting a little bit better. New dad. He's definitely in a good spot. I think it's a good 60-1. I really like both those guys at 60-1.
Strokes gained home life there for Hoagie. Checking the boxes. All right. Anybody else?
Let me get taking a peek at Eckroat at 40-1.
I like Eckroat.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's a
stud. And he's another one of those guys too. He's one of those younger guys I like that doesn't look like he's, his golf game was made by a track man. There's a bit of rawness to his game as well. He's got some grit to his game, and I like it on these Bermuda golf courses. I mean, he won at Honda. Who knows? Maybe a decent spot. I'm going to throw a massive flyer at you right now, and I would take this guy. I don't know what his number is going to be. He just got into the tournament. Alexander Toasty, Monday'd in.
Toasty, did he really?
He is playing some really good golf. I mean, he just got through Q School. That's fine. Yeah. He had to finish in the top 5 to get in. That's just Monday'd into Hawaii. I would say Valley and Sawgrass Country Club are great comps for this course. Waialae. I think it's right up his alley. Maybe a top 10 bet or a top 20 bet on him probably would be a really good call.
I mean, Toasty's he's Send-Itville, isn't he? Like he sends it. He doesn't very much.
Yeah.
He's either gonna kind of be what you said. Like if he's on, he could pick this place apart with just a bunch of wedges. But if he's not, I could see him being in some precarious places.
Well, let me help you pronounce things because I'm good at that.
Yeah. I didn't know Toasty Monday.
Yeah, I just saw that. Okay, and then a couple top 20s. I have Doug Gim plus 250 and Eric Cole. I know Eric didn't have a great week last week. Not super worried about it. I don't think that place is up his alley at all. Yeah. This place is. It's pretty similar to his home track to Cuesta Country Club. I mean, same grass, same environment. It wouldn't shock me when he's one of those guys too, where he walks off and he's not leaving more than 1 or 2 out there. So Doug and Eric, and then taking a peek at Ben Coles at I think he's plus 750 right now for a top 20.
He's up in the model for sure.
He is. He's up in the model. He can roll his rock, and he probably would have to, but don't hate that.
Yeah, he hits a lot of fairways though. I mean, he checks the box too, and that some of those approach buckets, or at least maybe his wedges are really good. I don't know, but yeah, Cole's pop for me too. It's a little scary, but he did. All right, Matt. Have you heard anything from anybody on site yet, or you haven't gotten that yet? About conditions, maybe?
I just heard from a caddy buddy of mine that it's pure.
Okay. Well, we'll get an update on some conditties from you before.
Do it,
maybe.
All right. I'll be listening for your winners later.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Matt Every. Not on X, we found out yesterday or last.
Not on X. On Instagram. On Instagram.
What's the Instagram handle?
Matt Every LFG, I believe.
Yeah, he doesn't even know. See, this is a tour player. He doesn't even know. He's like, I don't think I'm on. I think I might have a MySpace.
A year ago.
All right.
Might have a MySpace. See ya.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Mr. Matt Every dropping some nuclear bombs on us again. I love that. You know, again, starting with a guy at 60 to 1.
Yeah.
I think he went 40 to 1 was his lowest guy at Austin Eckroat. Love that. So good stuff. All right. You want to get into our bets, Pat?
I do, but I want to talk about something, DB, real quick. You know, Matt's in the Discord, right? You know, we just talked about that. He's getting in the Discord. He's mixing it up. And, you know, I think it's time for our listeners to get in this Discord. If you're not in the Discord, you got to be in here, okay? And I'm going to share a screen, DB. I'm going to share a screen. Yeah, I'm going to do this because
Tony, don't help him. Don't help him.
Tony, don't help me at all. Don't help me at all.
However long this takes.
Let me do this. Let me do this. I'm going to share a screen because we're making some changes to the Discord this year. All right, we're going to give you some new tiers to get in here. So I'm sharing it right now. Can you see it?
Nope.
Damn it! You can't.
There we go.
Yes. There we go.
Wait a minute. You changed the website too?
DB, I changed the website.
What the piss is going on?
DB has no clue. Well, you know about this, but I'm sure you're shocked that I even changed the website. Yeah. But if you go to tourjunkies.com, at the very top, it says Golby's Nut Hut. All you got to do is click on there. You got to get in the Nut Hut. We've got some tiers this year, okay? So you can get in for $5 a month. You get limited access, but it gets you into the main chat at least. The main chat, where we got some good people in there giving you some good information, mixing it up a little bit. But if you really want to get in there, you want to get DB's channel, my channel, Matt's channel.
I did not approve these changes.
A research channel, you know, caddy information. You want all of that kind of stuff. Just $10 a month. $10 a month, DB. Or
wow,
$100 a year. $100 a year for this entire year. You get all access to everything. Or DB, it gets even better. Because I think there needs to be some lifetime members in there. It's $500 lifetime access. I'm coming up with a little gift for these people, okay? If you pay this $500,
you're out over your skis.
I'm doing all of this myself. Some of this or all of this was not approved by DB, but I don't care. I want people in the Nut Hut. I want growth in the Discord, and that's all I care about. So this is what I'm doing, okay? I don't know if, you know, DB may disagree. He may not think that I can make this happen, but I'm going to do it. So get in there in the Discord. You got to at least just start with $5 because I guarantee you're going to move up to $10, and you're probably going to end up at $500 eventually. So, and it's easy. Tourjunkies.com. Go to Golby's Nut Hut at the very top. And look, we've got tutorials in here. I can't figure out how to scroll on this screen, so maybe Tony can do it for me. But there's tutorials on the Nut Hut Discord. There's all kinds of stuff. There's testimonials. I don't think you need testimonials, though. I just think you need me telling you to get your ass in there. And we got some good stuff. So there you go, DB. That's it.
Unreal. I can't believe what my eyes just saw.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways I'm irritated because I didn't know anything about this, and in some ways I'm also kind of proud of you because it's like when your child does something, you know, that you wish they would have asked you about first, but you're just happy that they took some initiative and did something, you know, figured it out. I'm happy about that. So congratulations. Get in the Discord. Gosh dang, that's crazy. And it's way cheaper than it has been before. So
can you believe I changed the website? You didn't even know I could change the website.
No, I did not know you could change the website. I'm wondering who you paid and how you paid them to make that happen.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
That's pretty remarkable, honestly. I mean, we've had the website for like 7 years and Pat's never changed a damn thing on it. Literally not one thing, not a thing, not a single thing. Pretty crazy. Okay, let's move on. Let's get through this. Let's knock this out. Our favorite outright bets so far for the Sony. I think these are going to be pretty locked in for me. I didn't change them a ton when I did Big Balls betting card last week because the weather was kind of predictable and we were seeing what we were seeing, and that was it. I'm starting it at Maverick McNeely again at 28 to 1. He was on the top of my card last week. He's going to be on the top of the card this week. The dude is confident right now. He's hitting it fantastic. His off the tee game, I think, is as good as it's ever been. I think his work with Scott Hamilton is finally paying off. That's what I'm hearing. We know some folks close to Mav's team. I think he's dialed. And for him to not chip as well as he did last week is really what kind of made the difference in him being a top 5 player or, and finishing T8 like he did. And he also just putted kind of average, which is not like Matt McNeely either. So he's an exceptional putter. He's putted really well on these greens at the Sony the last couple of years. So I think Mav at 28 is a lock for me. He's going to kick it off for me.
I like Mav. I think, he just seems like we always say this leveled up a little bit, like you say. I mean, I think he's done that. So I do like Mav. I'm going to start with Russell Henley. I like Henley at 20-1. I just, we've obviously seen him win this golf tournament before. Matt just kind of mentioned him a second ago. He didn't put him in his bets, but I do think that, Henley at 20-1 is a pretty good number. So he would be my first one that I'm going to go to up here at the top.
I don't mind Henley. If I had to take one at the top, I'd probably take Henley. But looking at the top of the board, it was tough for me to pull a trigger on him. I feel like we bet Henley a lot, and he just doesn't.
I'm surprised you didn't talk about Ben On, because he's one that I like at the top too.
And I struggle with it because Ben should have won this. I mean, if you remember, he missed like a 4-footer to extend the playoff against Grayson last year at this event. So I know it's an event he can obviously play really well. I don't like where his iron play has been. Like he's always been such a solid, strong iron player, and it's just not been good. Like really the whole fall. I mean, it last looked like Ben On in the spring. And I just don't love that. So it's hard for me to, plus you get the putter volatility with him. It's hard for me to commit now. I don't know. Like I was hoping that, because we last saw him at the President's Cup and the Tour Championship, I was hoping that, maybe he would show up at the Sentry and it looked like vintage Ben On, but it didn't. I mean, he lost almost 4 shots on approach last week. I really want to look at that.
To me, it's just like, I thought the odds might be a little bit shorter. And you're seeing him at 28-1 on FanDuel. I don't know. There feels like a little bit of good value there with him.
Mm-hmm. I like at 35. I like JT Poston again. So Mav and JT are both going to lock the card, kind of be at the top of the card for me. And he didn't have a great week at the Sentry. He didn't putt very well, which normally he does. Didn't hit his irons well, which can be pretty volatile for him. But he's improved over the years at the Sony, going from missing cuts to making the cut, but then top 20, T21 in 2023, a T6 last year. I think it's a really good golf course for him. Not too windy, I think will help JT a little bit. So I'm interested in Poston. And then I had Eckroat written down at 40-1. I think if I had to pick one, Eckroat's my guy there. I like him a little bit more this week, but I like both of those guys. I mean, just in terms of guys who I think could close the door and win a golf tournament if down the stretch, if asked to do it. Both of them now multiple time PGA Tour winners. So Poston and Eckroat for me, and then I'm going to kind of get into the maybe 1 or 2 long shots from there.
Don't mind Poston, don't mind Eckroat. But I would say that DB, it's a new year, and it's a new me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a fellow that I was doubtful of. And if you heard early on in our conversations with Matt, he talked about this being a potential course where you could see a first-timer win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a gentleman by the name of Luke Clanton,
who
I've always
you are not taking Luke Clanton,
who I've always loved. I've always loved Luke Clanton,
bro.
At 40-1,
bro,
fantastic iron player. I'm putting Luke Clanton on the betting card, betting him right now.
That is such a troll. That is a very troll move.
I don't listen. We have talked about this.
You have been a Luke Clanton denier,
and
you've been a Luke Clanton denier. And
what did I just say? I said, "New year, new me."
For you to do this to me, for you to do this to me,
you didn't put. Did you talk about him? No.
Okay, hand up.
So who's the first person to mention his name in the year of 2025? It's me. So I am the Luke Clanton fan now. You're like underneath me.
I didn't have him winning. You're right. I don't have him winning. I have him as a top 20 lock, but I don't have him winning. And I think part of that is because I would prefer to see him win on a course where he can use the distance to his advantage a little bit more, the long irons to his advantage a little bit more. But it's just unfair that you did that. You knew that would irritate me, and You did that to troll me, but Luke Clanton is mine, and he has been mine from the jump.
No.
You can go have Michael Thorbjornsen or whatever. There's plenty
we
of new fish in the
we
sea.
flipped over to 2025. Nothing's yours. It's all open.
Okay.
It's all open.
Okay.
Clanton.
That irritates me. I think Svensson at 100 to 1 is just a good value. I don't know why. I could be really that could be very, very wrong because it is Adam Svensson. But why do I feel like it's like I feel like Adam Svensson is better than that, better than 100 to 1 in this field with his ability to kind of spike with his irons. He's played here 4 times. He's never missed a cut. T7 in 2022. Winner of the RSM Classic, which Matt used as a possible correlated course if you believe in that stuff. Won that a couple years ago. So I don't know. I think Svensson's kind of in play at 100 to 1. There's not a lot of long bombs outside of that 60. I like the Berger pick. Outside of that 60 to 1 range, Svensson's really the only name that kind of gets me going. The rest of them I look at and I just see top 20s or top 40s.
So yeah, I agree. I was totally with Matt on the Berger pick. I've got him in there as one of mine. Yeah, it's kind of looking at Ben Silverman DB at 170 to 1.
But whatever. I don't even know.
He was top 20 here last year. He's
the one I can't figure out the difference between him and Bridgman.
I know, but he's 26.
Which one's which?
26 in the model, puts extremely well in Bermuda.
Whose model?
I think the BTN model, not your model.
It's better.
But the iron play is certainly going to be in question here. But I think Silverman might be, it's just a long shot at 171. But my favorites are Henley, Ben On, my boy Luke Clanton, who loves me, Daniel Berger at 60 to 1.
All right, let's move on. I want to talk about some different guys in this top 20 range, and then let's get into some DFS plays. Before we do, I want to thank our friends at Underdog. Be sure and click the link in the description to sign up for Underdog if you've not already. The best ball season is starting, and Underdog's got you covered. And if you miss the best ball for the regular season, you can obviously get in the best ball for the majors. That'll be dropping here soon. And you can do daily best ball as well for each round of the tournament. And of course, you've got your pick'em entries that you can create on Underdog. Pick more or less and watch it play out. It's a lot of fun. And even if legal sports betting isn't allowed in your state, if DFS is legal in your state, you can probably play Underdog Pick'em. So check it out. They're available in most states. And if you click our link, you get a little deposit bonus up to $250 and a close to free play if you choose to take it. So check out our friends at Underdog, link in the description. Okay. Well, my locks for top 20, I had Mav and I had Luke Clanton. Mav is plus 120. Clanton is plus 130. Those are both on DraftKings Sportsbook and include ties. I don't think we mentioned this last week, but for the most part, I bet placement bets that include ties. A lot of those numbers, the best numbers come out on BetMGM. Those usually are not available until Tuesday. We record the show on Monday night. So right now you're only getting DraftKings prices, but I do encourage you, and we always encourage you to shop sports books and find the best price available. So my two locks are Mav and Luke Clanton. I've got a big bomb for you, Pat. I had one last week. I'm up 7 to 1. Johnny Vegas. Let's keep the train rolling. We're going to keep it rolling, keep it moving. Another big number. At plus 600, I am taking, where is he? I am taking Mr. K.H. Lee.
Ooh,
to finish in the top 20. He does have one top 20 here. He's made the cut the last 4 years. He's played it. T30 last year, T28 before that. The T19 came in 2021. KH is a very boomer bust type fella. I mean, look at his fall. 3 missed cuts, a T5, a T23. In the summer, 3 missed cuts, 2 withdrawals, and then a T9 all of a sudden. The form is very unpredictable for Mr. KH Lee, but we know he can go low when he's feeling it. So he's not a super long hitter. More accurate than average on the PGA Tour. The irons tend to be a little better than average on the PGA Tour. So hopefully he brings that to Hawaii, and let's get Mr. KH Lee at plus 650. I trust him if he's on to kind of keep it up there.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I've got a few different names here. I think Tom Kim at plus 120 feels pretty good. It's just obviously he's a great player in this field. You're getting plus money on him.
Well, you like his outright number at 20-1? Like you'd rather have Russell Henley?
I'd rather have
It's
Russell
the same
Henley
number.
outright, but I think because I've seen him win at this golf tournament before, and I just feel like I have more confidence in I would go with Russell Henley for a top 20, obviously, but I'm trying to give you some different names in here, and we haven't even talked about Tom Kim.
No, I know.
So-
I'm just asking. I
So
want
we
because I'm asking the questions that people might be asking in the car, and they're going, hey, Russell Henley and Tom Kim are the same outright number, Pat. You know what? I remember last year was the year Tom Kim was massive chalk at this tournament. Massive chalk. In fact, I think I took one of the firmest stands I've taken on any player.
You're
at
talking
any
about
point in time.
2 years ago. When
2 years ago.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he missed a cut 2 years ago.
I took a hard stance on Tom Kim at this tournament, and then he trunk slammed and just absolutely lit everything on fire. So now I will not be on him, and he will probably win. Anyway, continue.
All right. The other one was Austin Eckroat, who Matt mentioned. I think you've mentioned plus 190. I love that for a top 20. Now, I kind of feel like I need a little help from producer Tony on this. I'm putting him on the spot.
Oh, dear.
But last year, early in the season, there was a sound clip that was born. And I don't know, it may have been it probably wasn't this tournament, but it was at least before the Waste Management, which is in February. So we're getting close to that. But my bomb at 5-1. 5-1. Now this is a guy that finished let's see where he was last year. I think he was T30 last year, in that range. He was T30. He's 16th in the BTN model, so he's checking some boxes there. But at 5-1, Mr. Rio Hisatunse.
Oh, dear.
And I don't know what week it was, Tony. I really don't. It feels like it was in January. At some point.
Yeah, it was early. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was early.
It's definitely early.
So I feel like we need to pay homage to that and bet him long shot at 5-1 this week.
All right.
Hisatunse.
Okay. Real quick mention of the chalk in DFS that I'm willing to play. We've talked about a lot of these guys. Berger, I think, is going to be chalky. I think Eckroat is going to be chalky. I think Clanton could be chalky. The DFS community loves Clanton.
Yeah.
Although if you're in the DFS echo chamber of X, then maybe he appears more chalky than he is if you're in like a big public contest. But if you're in like a low dollar big public contest, people may not be interested in playing him. But a name we've not talked about to win here that I'm going to play because there's enough names at the bottom that I like. I'm playing Hideki in DFS. I actually like Hideki at 11K in DFS. He feels like the safest bet as long as he doesn't withdraw pre-tournament. He feels like the safest bet up here. I mean, I'm going to do a lot of like Hideki Maverick stacks. And then there's a lot of guys in that like low 8s to mid 7s range that make it really easy for me to do that. So I will be playing some Hideki in DFS. I'm not going to bet him at 9-1, but I'm going to keep riding it. I mean, he was absolutely dialed. 9 strokes on approach, has won this tournament before. I'm very interested in Hideki. Any other chalk you think you're going to be on or be interested in biting?
I mean, I think just across the board, I think Henley is going to be chalky in some ways. I like him. I would play him. I like Mav. I like Eckroat. I think Eric Cole, where he's priced, kind of down in that.
Is he? You think he will be?
It's 7,500. I think Cole's going to have some chalk. I definitely think Berger is going to have some chalk too.
Yeah,
and I'll play that at 7,500 also.
Yeah, Berger. I've seen a little chatter on X today about Berger.
Yeah.
I don't know about Cole because he just sucked last week. I don't know. Maybe he will be. Some pivots. We talked about Chris Kirk last week and he disappointed, but I think getting back on Chris Kirk is in play. Finished T44 or whatever. Didn't hit it great. Maybe shook the rust off a little bit, but really good track record around the Sony, including a T3 and a T2 in the last 4 years. I know I'm a sucker for this guy usually if you know me, but he's 11th in my model. Sometimes I wonder, like, am I building models just so that this guy pops in them? But he got a good fall and he's got a T3 finish here in 2022. Seamus Power is only 7,400 and seems like a nice value to me. A guy who also finished really nice in the model and is only 7K and also had a really solid fall with a 21st, a 3rd, a 22nd, 17th place finish. Mr. P. Perry Sr.'s favorite friend, Mr. Rico Hoey. Is another one that I'm kind of digging. And then we got to show some love to, if you're looking at new guys on the scene this year, there's a lot of unfamiliar names, but there is a familiar name who's actually played this tournament 4 or 5 times. And he's also had some success on coastal Bermuda courses. He's going to love some blustery conditions. He's going to love firm and fast. He loves Bermuda, and he's going to let the chest meat flap in the wind. And that is Mr. Harry Higgs, down there at like 6,300 or something, 6,300. I think Higgs is in play. Now, I do think there's less of him than there was last time he was on the PGA Tour. I think he's had the Ozempic thing or whatever.
Oh, he's taking the shots.
Got a lot less undertit than he used to have. That's for sure. But hopefully we'll see some of that. So those are some pivots that I like down there. Last week I gave you Johnny V down there at the bottom. Tony, I said undertit. If you say undertit, you summon Toady.
Ooh, yeah, that's like the bat signal for me.
All of a sudden, Tony shows up.
Better golfer male undertit. Harry Higgs, Neil Shipley.
Oh,
I feel like you got to go Shipley.
I think it is Shipley now.
Yeah,
but I mean,
now it is. Yeah,
it's Harry in his prime.
Shipley's too early in his career to understand that he needs to shape things up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but Harry early though, he's really the Lisa Ann of PGA Tour undertit. I mean. Or maybe he's not. Maybe somebody else is. I don't know who the OG is. Hey, back in like the 80s and 90s, man, they all had that. They all had it. Everybody nobody was skinny or strong or athletic. They all looked like that, back in the day. But that's a great question, Tony. Good question.
Yeah, good job, Tony.
That's why we have you back.
See, I love having Tony back. This is
having Tony back.
Let me make a mark of that in the chapters. Better undertit. Okay. Good.
Put that in the chat.
Better male undertit.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay.
Make sure you put that in there.
All right. Any other pivots?
Why are we? Nobody likes to play Keegan, and when he's up there up top, but I think Keegan at 9,500, coming off of a decent week last week, almost won here, last year or the year before, whenever it was. I think Keegan's a decent pivot. I'm curious about Thomas Dietrich, and only because obviously he had a really good week last week, finished in T5. He's never played here before, or at least he hasn't since. Yeah, he hasn't played here before. Super talented golfer, 7,500. He's right there with these guys like, Berger, Seamus Power, whoever else in here, Eric Cole I talked about. I think Dietrich could end up being in a spot where he could be a decent pivot. So I'm interested in him. A guy that I think you totally dislike and will never like, and maybe because I think he just has a normal name. Sometimes you kind of have a adversity to playing people with a normal name. And Andrew Putnam has just a normal name, but he's a good golfer and he's been great here. He's finished top 10 the last 2 years here. This is the last 3 years.
Andrew Putnam has never made anybody any money. Didn't you say that about? You said that about Luke List a long time ago.
Luke List, and then what happened? He made people money.
Okay, okay.
You might need to change what you just said.
If Andrew Putnam wins a golf tournament in 2025, I'm talking wins. That's how you make people money.
I'm not saying wins. I'm talking about a pivot.
I know. I'm just saying Andrew Putnam has never won anybody any money. That is true. He's been around a long dang time. He's kept his card a long dang time, probably too long. He ain't never won anybody any money. So if he does, I will do something. I don't know what I'll do. Put it in the comments. Give me a suggestion. Tell me what to do, and I'll do something. I'll pick something.
All right.
I don't. He's not going to do it, but okay. He might finish T20. Sure, he does that. Let's talk our parlay. Let's get our quick TGL thoughts, and then we got to do New Year's resolutions. We got to hustle. What's your parlay? Give me Pat's parlay. We got college football playoff that unfortunately Georgia's not in. NFL playoff start this week as well. It's a great week for football, and obviously the Sony Open. We both fell short last week. I
fell very short.
Well, I
very,
missed
very short.
Yeah, I mean, I did too. But Taylor Pendrith was one shot away from doing it, and he crapped down his leg on Sunday, or otherwise he'd have been a top 10. But Riley Leonard did not have to throw for 170 yards on Georgia, so I was safe there. All right, he got this week.
I don't know if Tony has the graphic, but I'll go ahead and just say, all right, there it is. There it is. All right. I'm going to go. Now this is, almost basically 15-1. I'm going to take the spread. I'm going to take Texas getting 6 points against Ohio State. Ohio State.
Don't like it. You're betting against Ohio State again. I told you last week.
I will bet against them again. I'm going to keep doing it. I think Texas is still a great team. I think they're a great team. Georgia beat them twice. I feel like there was a little luck involved in some of that, but we did beat them twice, just to say that. But I like them getting +6. Will there be a playoff in the Sony Open? All right, +350. Let me give you something though, DB.
Oh, okay.
3 of the last 5.
Okay.
3 of the last 5 that they've played have gone to a playoff, and 4 of the last 6. So the odds are a little bit in our favor here at +350. And that's obviously juicing up this number a little bit. And then Justin Jefferson, anytime touchdown score against the Rams at -115. I think Justin Jefferson's, outside. I can't even believe that Jefferson and Chase played together for LSU. It's just amazing. I think he's one of the best receivers out there. And, I think he's going to score this week easily. So basically 15-1 here on this 3-pick parlay.
Nice. Sorry, I'm writing that down for the records. Okay, mine's just a 2. No, actually, mine's a 3-legger too, but it's way less, way shorter on the odds. I'm going Mav McNeely, locking in the top 20 to include ties at +120. I'm going Terry McLaurin, anytime touchdown against the Bucs. I think that game's going to be a shootout. I think Scary Terry's going to get his, as he's done most of the year. Jaden Daniels loves targeting some Scary Terry. I think he's going to show out against the Bucs. And then I got to go Ohio State money line. I could have taken the spread here, but I just think the safer bet is Ohio State's going to win that game. I think they're clearly the better team, and I think they're the team to beat in the playoff, and that gets you at +547 on DK Sportsbook.
Okay.
TGL thoughts, Pat. Let's pull up the graphic. Let's take a look what's going on. TGL kicks off tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The New York Golf Club faces the Bay Golf Club. The New York Golf Club features 2 golfers from California and a guy from England that had adult braces. The team from Bay features 1 dude from California, 1 dude from Sweden, and an Irishman. Who do you like? Sorry.
The Irishman.
Yeah. The Bay, so I guess it's Lowry and Wyndham and Ludd. Ludd making the trip all the way from Hawaii to West Palm Beach. Finishes up the Sentry and then goes to West Palm. Are going to play against Ricky, Fitzpatrick, and Xander. They're sitting Cam Young. In the first match there. TGL kicks off 9 p.m. on ESPN. I mean, from a bet standpoint, there's not much to offer. FanDuel is the official betting partner of TGL, I see. But you can bet the Bay at +100. So I would take I just think you take the dog here in this situation. Plus, I think outside of Xander, you have a stronger team with Wyndham Clark, Shane Lowry, and Ludwig. Just overall a much better team. All 3 players, Ricky and Fitzpatrick. Not really sure what you're getting there. So I think the better team is Bay, and you're getting them at even money. Do you disagree?
No, I don't at all. As a matter of fact, I may have to admit right here on camera and on a podcast that I've already bet on this.
Have you?
I've already bet on this.
I mean,
plus money on them. I mean, why not? It's early on. We don't know about these teams. Why not take the plus money team that I think it actually is probably more talented anyway? So
yeah.
I mean,
like, what's your interest level? And I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. So a lot of other shows and podcasts and X accounts and all this stuff have talked about TGL and I mean, obviously we're going to watch it because we're golf guys and we want to watch it. What else is there to watch on Tuesday night? There's a reason it's at Tuesday night and it's not plugged into this, up against football or whatever. But what's your what's your level of interest, I guess? And I'm sure it's probably peaked right now because it's what you don't know. But what's like also your expectations for this thing? Do you think this is going to work? Do you think this is going to be long term? Is it going to be attractive enough to golf fans and non-golf fans to get people into this thing?
I mean, in my opinion, first off, my interest level is actually, I would say, relatively high to see, especially this first kind of just to see what it's like and what it's about. I think it's, I've gotten texts today from people who, friends of mine who've asked me about it and said, "What is this? What is this? What is this golf? Like, is this like Golden Tee online, or like is this like we're going to be watching tour players playing Golden Tee?" And I think they just don't even know what it's about. And I'm like, look, and they're kind of like, I feel like they're hoping it fails. I hope it doesn't fail. Like, I hope it actually is something that brings new watchers and listeners and whatever else, new fans to the game, because I love golf. And so anything different, I think this day and age is always good, especially with what we're seeing between the tour and live golf and all that kind of stuff. So I want to see it succeed. I don't know if it will. You just never know with something new like this. Obviously, it has a ton of backing with Tiger and all that kind of stuff. So when Tiger plays in his first match, he's going to get a ton of people that are really going to watch. But so we'll see. But I am interested in it. I'm certainly interested. I will be watching tomorrow night, and we'll see how it goes.
Producer Tony, what do you think?
Yeah, Pat, you kind of just brought it up there with Tiger. How do you not have him in the first match? Like, if you're trying to get as many eyeballs, if you're trying to kick this thing off, like, why would you not have him? Why would you not have Rory?
I thought about this, and my guess would be that, well, maybe they think there might be some little glitches in the first match, and maybe they want to see what happens and see the initial interest, and maybe see, like, to make the product better for the second go around when the next match is. I feel like they'll put Tiger in the second match. I don't know if that's
what if he's not ready. I guess he did just play the PNC. Like, he's probably fine, I guess.
Well, and they're in a simulator basically atmosphere. Like, I don't think it's not like he's walking around a golf course and whatever else, but they could also set it up to be more, not set him up for failure. But I don't know if it's like the same for I don't know how they do it. So, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what this is about. We really just don't know.
Tiger will play next Wednesday.
Is that the second of the matches?
Yeah, the second week. The Los Angeles Golf Club versus Jupiter Links.
So that makes sense to me. It actually does make sense for him to be in the second one. In my mind, it does.
I could see it. I mean, you need to make the biggest splash you can and grab people as early as you can, I think. Tiger would have definitely done that, but I don't know. Maybe they're confident. I will say it is a little weird to bet on. It just feels a little weird to bet on.
Yeah.
I mean, we bet on anything, but when you think about betting on people hitting into a simulator and them having a betting partner, and it is a little weird because, I mean, they can do anything with simulators, man. They can juice numbers for guys. They can scale numbers back. They can do all kind of stuff. I don't know. It's a little strange for me. I don't know. I don't have high hopes. I don't. I would like to have high hopes, but I don't. I think a lot of it's going to depend on the other stuff, and the personalities of these guys, what they let them say, what they don't let them say, how much they let them actually be themselves, how much they don't. And then there's a fine line with that too. I mean, there's some of these guys I just don't want to hear from very much. I think you're corny and you're goofy or you're lame, and you don't need to be talking very much. You just need to hit the golf ball and shut up and just say a few words here and there and be done. And you think you're funny and you're not. But then there's other guys who I think would be great to hear from and probably would be entertaining it. But they can't, these guys are not professional entertainers. They're professional golfers. So I think that could be tough. I think they've got a really great cast around them. The Matt Berry, the Scott Van Pelt. I love Roger Steele. Like, all those guys are great. So I think that'll help the broadcast, but it'll just be interesting to see how they produce this and how they let these guys talk. And because, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, how excited are we going to be to watch them hit golf balls on a screen? I mean, after the first week, we're going to be like, okay, yeah, the screen's big, the green moves. Okay. But we're still watching the same guys swing and hit a golf ball and do, you know what I mean? Like, so then at some point, what else is there to entertain me and differentiate this thing outside?
Well, it's on to be, I mean, it's on the players. The players have got to, they've got to be entertaining. And that's why I think you've got a few characters in here like a Kiz who's coming in off of, not really playing many golf tournaments and things like that. Like, I think it's on the players, and they know that, to make it entertaining. They all can hit really good golf shots. I mean, we've been on the range at many golf tournaments.
But what I'm saying is they have to be self-aware enough too to know if you're the player, because all these players, I won't say all of them, but most of them probably think they're funny. Most of them probably, especially guys at this level for the most part, we're around them at times. Everybody tells them how funny they are. Everybody tells them how special they are. Their agents are telling them how special they are. Their agents are telling everybody else how funny they are and how entertaining they are. And X is all kissing their ass and everybody's all kissing their butt, right? All the time. So if they don't, if the guys who really aren't that entertaining and aren't that funny just keep talking and keep, being corny, there's a couple in my mind. I don't want to say their names, but there's a couple in my mind that are on the rosters. Like, if that just keeps happening, then people are going to be like, yeah, I'm out. So like the players have to be self-aware enough too to know, like, hey, it's not really my job to talk it up and chat it up. I'm just going to throw a zinger in here and there and be done and kind of move along and hit the golf ball and be, that's not my role. And then if the other guys kind of know where they fit in and they can entertain and be more funny and all that, then that's cool too. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. It'll be interesting. I'm intrigued enough. I'll definitely be watching tomorrow. Okay, let's button this up. New Year's resolutions. We do it every year. Since we're a little long on time, Pat, let's do this. Let's just do your resolutions this week. We'll do mine next week.
Okay.
So we always recap our resolutions from the previous year and give ourselves a report card. And then our new resolutions for this year, we have golf-based resolutions, and then just life and personal-based resolutions.
Yeah.
So Pat, hit us. It was a terrible year for both of us. I will say that. I have a terrible report card. It's probably my worst.
You want me to do the report card first?
Yeah, tell us about last year.
I'll go real quick. I did 3 golf and 3 non-golf. So we'll start with the non-golf. I was 1 of 3. I'm giving myself 1 of 3. Okay. First was go to bed earlier, wake up earlier. I feel like if you do that day in and day out, it's a good thing for your health. I didn't do that at all. It's terrible with that. I probably went the opposite direction on that. Okay. The other one, which you challenged me, and I think you're right. I just forgetting this one. This is terrible. Eat a healthy breakfast at least 5 days a week. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I didn't.
You hated that one. It's never going to happen. I'm just not a breakfast guy. It's just not going to happen. Never going to be.
What I was saying last year is I think you should continue to not be a breakfast guy. I don't think breakfast is essential. I am anti-breakfast. So I think you lean into who you are. You are like me. You're not a breakfast guy. So you're going to eat between the hours of like 12 and 7 and be done.
Yeah. So that one was a failure. The other one was, I think you could give me some credit for, and it was sort of more of a, just inner personal thing of, being true to yourself, saying no more. I'm one of those yes people that says yes to everything. And it was also read a self-help book, which I did not do.
You didn't? I thought you did.
I didn't do. Well, I read some of one, but I didn't finish it. But I do think there's a lot, if my last year, that was being true to myself. So I will. I think I can say
you've checked that box a couple times.
I think we can check that box. The golf one. Jeez. One was get a putting lesson. Didn't do that. One was swing speed to 102 by June. Didn't do that. The other one, though, I did do, DB, and I'm very proud of this one, was break 80, and I did break 80. Shot 78. I shot 78. I believe it was in June or July. I think I did it another time in the summer, too. So I did get that one. So 2 out of 6.
I did not have that one written down for you last year. I thought that was the year before. I had the putting lesson.
I'm literally looking at New Year's, like 20.
You said putting lesson and practice putting twice a week, by the way. That was your goal.
I left that part out.
It's not just to get a putting lesson, but also to practice putting twice a week, which is hilarious. I knew you would not do that.
No, left that part out.
Okay, new goals for this year.
New goals for this year. I'll start with the non-golf. First off, kind of from a serious standpoint, I mean, we've talked about this, probably too much, but DB, both of us had some tough years in 2024, but, and we don't necessarily talk about this a lot on the show, but I think DB and I both are very big on our faith. And for me, I want to grow in my faith this year. So that's number one. And I think that involves a lot of things in my life. So I want to do that, number one. Number two, actually, I'm going to flip them because I'm going to start with this one. I want to prove DB wrong this year in one of my New Year's resolutions. One of them is what I talked about earlier. I want to grow the shit out of the Discord. So I want as many people in that freaking Discord, because I mean, DB loves a Discord. He loves a Discord. But I took it upon myself to make some changes, do some things that DB didn't even know about. And I am going to grow this Discord, and I want to see growth. I mean, exponential growth. I don't want it to be like Pat grew at 10% this year because it was a little bit cheaper or whatever. Like, I want some like real growth numbers in our Discord. So that's one of them. The other one is this. DB, we talk about eating habits and workout habits and all those kind of things that we can do. Take away, like eat less of this, do more of this workout. I want to eat more. Okay. I want to eat more, and I want to eat more in a few. I want to eat better things, but I want to eat more fish. There's been a long time, DB, where I haven't been able to eat fish, and I like fish because certain people didn't like it. But now I want to eat more fish, and I want some people to tell me what fish to eat. Do it in the Discord, by the way, when you come in, and tell me what kind of fish to eat. I want to eat other healthy things, other things that I'm not used to. Maybe something weird, maybe not just a steak or a piece of chicken or some asparagus. Like, I think of healthy things, DB, and the first thing I think of is asparagus and grilled chicken.
Okay.
And that's it. Like, I wanted some new ideas on some healthier things. All right. Golf. Let's get into golf because I'm excited about golf. I'll start with number one, which is the boring one. And it was number one last year. I want to redo, DB. I want to redo, and I want a putting. I'm going to get a putting lesson this year. I'm going to get a putting lesson. I'm not going to say that.
You could literally knock that out tomorrow. It would take 40 minutes.
I know. That's why. But we're trying to accomplish these goals, okay? And I'm not going to say I'm going to practice putting 2 days a week because that's stupid. But I'm going to do a putting lesson.
Okay.
That's all I want. Putting lesson.
Okay.
You could have said that last year. It was very easy to do last year, and I didn't do it.
I know. I thought it was a very attainable, very reasonable goal set by you.
It was.
I would not have to say, "Hey, Pat, get on that, man." I thought you were going to easily knock that part out.
I got a big X by it, so I didn't get it. Here's another one. Now, this one's very difficult, DB, but I've lived on this planet for almost 48 years.
Golly.
And this has never happened because I always
much longer. No,
because I always say, DB, that it'll just happen when it happens. It shouldn't be a goal. It shouldn't be anything. It just happens, like it's going to be bestowed upon me to get a hole in one. But you know what? I never asked for it. It's never made it a goal. I've always just said, it's something that might happen. This year it's a goal.
Well, it can't be a goal. Like, you can't. What?
No. I'm going to make it happen. It is a goal.
You get a Jersey Jerry and sit on the course and large
it's a resolution.
You can't.
I plan on coming back next year.
Measurable goal. Like, I mean, it's measurable. It's not a.
Yeah, it is measurable.
Well, yeah, but you
either do or you don't.
I know it is measurable. It's just like what are you supposed to do with that? You can't.
Well, it's never worked by me saying going into the year saying,
okay. Maybe you
I'll
will
just make it. It'll just happen. I mean,
speak it into existence. Then.
Yeah, I'm speaking this into existence.
Okay.
Last one.
Word of Faith movement hits the Tour Junkies podcast.
Yeah. The last one is one I'm kind of excited about. I also think I can make it happen. The last one is to take my dad to a great course to play and give him that experience. So that's the last.
It'd be nice.
And I don't know what course it's going to be. I mean, it doesn't have to be Pebble Beach or something. Just a course. Dad's used to. My dad, DB. I mean, he's used to playing certain courses and whatever else. Like, I want to take him to a really good course, give him a good experience. And
dude, what if your dad came on the Tour Junkies, the Tour Junkies do Ireland trip that's going to happen in July, and you're playing with your dad in Ireland, and you make a hole in one in front of your dad.
Knock out 2 or 3 and just, I mean, I don't know. There may be tears in my eyes if that happens. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. That'd be sick. That'd be
Yeah.
sick. Good goals there, Pat. Yeah, you know, I would criticize you for your goals last year, but I also failed mine miserably. So we both really screwed the pooch here on the goals. I hit 2 of the 4 personal goals and didn't hit any of the golf goals. So you can razz me about those next week. And thanks everybody for hanging out, for tuning in to the Tour Junkies Sony Open preview. Drop the comments. Don't forget season-long contests, suggestions. See you in the Discord that Pat is single-handedly overhauling without my permission or input. And Matt Every's in there every single day, every single week, dropping some bets and some picks. And yeah, let's have a great week. Listen, we hit Hideki. We've already established that. You can't hit all the winners if you don't hit the first one or the second one. So let's hit the second one. Let's bend over our bookies. May your screens be green. See ya. Out. Tour Junkies featuring David Barnett is not an affiliate of CWM LLC. Opinions expressed by the host or guests do not reflect those of CWM LLC. CWM LLC does not endorse gambling or the entities promoted by the Tour Junkies podcast. David is a non-registered representative of CWM LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.